Welcome to Conflict News 24. Today's bulletin includes news stories from Sudan, the UK, and Ukraine. Uh, in the UK, new Prime Minister going to be elected. Name finalized. Who is he? In Sudan, more than 200 have been killed in ethnic clashes, and in Ukraine. We'll have a look at a place in Ukraine. Russian forces entered this town around 2 months ago, but they could not consolidate their complete control of the town. And a few hours ago, around 24 hours ago, Russians had to retreat from this town, this city. Details for you. Firstly, viewers, UK is going to have another Prime Minister, third Prime Minister in around 2 months. Rishi Sunak is going to be the new Prime Minister of the country. In 2019, a general election was held in the UK. Conservative Party won majority. The party's Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, had to resign in August this year. Then Liz Truss was elected as the Prime Minister. She worked for around 44 days. Last week she resigned too, and now new Prime Minister has been finalized. Conservative Party has chosen new leader, party leader, who is going to be the Prime Minister of the country as well, because the Conservative Party is the party in power till 2024. After that, new election will be held. Rishi Sunak is from Indian origin, Hindu by religion, with some African links as well. I think his father was from Kenya. He's first Asian and first Hindu Prime Minister in the history of the UK. Rich man, around 800 million US dollars is his approximate worth. And he has worked as finance minister. Perhaps that is why he is acceptable to all, because to all in Conservative Party, because party wants someone who can handle the economic crisis which the country is facing, which entire Europe is facing. Rising food prices, rising energy prices, rising cost of living, inflation, and other issues. And since he has experience of working as a finance minister, that is why one of the reasons behind his election as the Prime Minister. Tomorrow, reportedly, Parliament will formally elect Rishi Sunak as the new Prime Minister. So far, party has chosen him as the party leader without any election, because other candidates withdrew. Boris Johnson pulled out around 48 hours ago. So there was no serious challenger to Rishi Sunak. So now he is party leader, and in coming hours he'll be the Prime Minister of the country as well. Indians are happy. Narendra Modi, Indian Prime Minister, has congratulated Rishi Sunak. Though he is British, Rishi Sunak is British, but he has Indian origins too. Can Rishi Sunak bring stability in the country? That remains to be seen. Entire Europe is in the grip of instability because of economic issues. Secondly, viewers, Sudan. Around a year ago, Sudanese army chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan staged a military coup. Abdullah Hamdok, civilian Prime Minister, was removed from power. He was put under house arrest. Later, he was released. He was reinstated, but he resigned. Since then, we have been seeing massive demonstrations across Sudan. Sudanese demonstrators want zero role of a Sudanese army in politics. But Sudanese army is one of the key players in Sudan. So while Sudan is facing political problems unresolved so far, ethnic problems are there too, which keep on arising. In Blue Nile state of Sudan, within the last 3 to 4 days, more than 200 persons have been killed. There was fighting between two tribes, Hausa and Barta tribes, and fighting was over a piece of land. Fighting went on for around 3 days. Around 220 have been killed in this deadly ethnic conflict. Hundreds injured. Around 200,000 displaced from Blue Nile region, which shares border with Ethiopia, neighboring country of Sudan, and South Sudan, another neighbor of Sudan. Tensions still there. The government has imposed a state of emergency. All gatherings have been banned. Hospitals are filled with injured, and security forces are trying to control the situation. So in Sudan, there are political issues, there are ethnic issues, and in Darfur, we know what happened. That around 2 decades ago, in ethnic clashes, tens of thousands were killed in Darfur. And in Darfur as well, after every few months, we see resumption of violence. Now, in Blue Nile state, where relative calm is returning after the imposition of a state of emergency, but tensions remain. Lastly, viewers, Russia-Ukraine conflict. Russian advance in eastern Ukraine has been completely checked. No advance on the ground is being seen in Donetsk, in Lugansk, in Kharkiv, in Kherson. Bakhmut is a city in Donetsk. If you remember, around 2 months ago, I reported Russian ground offensive towards Bakhmut. Russian military entered Bakhmut and they captured eastern part of Bakhmut. Ukrainian forces blew up a bridge linking eastern and western parts of Bakhmut around a month ago. There is a video on that as well. So since then, Russian forces have been trying to reach the western and central parts of Bakhmut from eastern part. And despite several offensives launched by Russians, they could not advance from eastern part of Bakhmut towards central and western parts of Bakhmut. And around 24 hours ago, Russian forces were pushed out of eastern part of Bakhmut as well, visually confirmed that the eastern part of Bakhmut has come under Ukrainian control. We have a clip for you showing Ukrainian forces in eastern part of Bakhmut. Russian forces pushed back around 2 to 3 kilometers away from Bakhmut. So you see that in Donetsk, in Lugansk, Kharkiv, Kherson, in all regions, we are not receiving any reports of any large-scale territorial gains by Russian forces. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, around 4 weeks, Russian ground offensives are stalled. They are trying to set up new defense lines. In Kherson, we know that they are relocating residents from Kherson. Russians are accusing Ukraine that Ukraine is planning to use a dirty bomb, a bomb with nuclear material, with radioactive emissions, to put the blame on Russia, that Russia has fired nuclear bomb. So Russians are in defensive mode now on all fronts. They are losing ground. They're trying to set up new defenses, but they're finding it difficult to advance. No advance on any front by Russians in the last 3 to 4 weeks. Watch this video geolocated showing Ukrainian forces in eastern part of Bakhmut. Entire Bakhmut city has come under Ukrainian control. Russian and allied forces have been pushed out of Bakhmut city. Thank you for watching.
Бахмут наш. Місцеві ходять. В місті не наші. Лізуть, які лізли, дохнуть. Їх ніхто не забирає, забирають тільки там, важливих. За чого точно не безкінечно, всі вони здохнуть.